LaSalle's rowing teams improve on their seasons on the Schuylkill, while the golf team places 5th at the Finnegan Invitational. Hello, I'm Madison Elliott.
And I'm Anna Gomez. The baseball team ignites against St. Bonaventure to capture a series win, while the softball team experiences some turbulence. You're watching LaSalle TV's home for Explorer Athletics, SportsLine. Welcome. We have a great show for you as Jake Smolinski has his chat with freshman softball star Valerie Pinero. And after that, Tyler Harper will be joining us for some exploring headlines.
And later in the show, Isaac Perry will give you his marquee matchup. But first, let's catch up on what went down this past week for our athletes. The men's track team took on Princeton and Widener University on Friday, April 17th and Saturday, April 18th. At Princeton, Nick Smart and Stephen Lewandowski dominated the 1,500-meter run. Smart finished with a time of 3 minutes and 47 seconds, while Lewandowski was right behind with a time of 3 minutes and 56 seconds. Sophomore Nick Lefevre followed with a time of 3 minutes and 58 seconds, a personal record. Sticking with distance, junior Ian Barnhill had the best finish of all explorers in the 5,000-meter run, finishing in 14 minutes and 50 seconds. At the Widener Invitational, freshman Joseph Laconi finished first out of 4 explorers in the Open 800, grabbing a top 20 finish with a time of 1 minute and 59 seconds. The men return to action in split dual action next Saturday at Lehigh and the historic Penn Relays.
At the Larry, the women recorded some of their fastest times of all season. Distance runner Michelle Milan beat out 12 other athletes to take 4th place in the 3,000-meter run. The freshman knocked out 3 seconds off her fastest time of 10 minutes and 23 seconds. Freshman Megan Connell took 12th place in the 5,000-meter run. Following closely was junior Molly Mickle, and both ran their collegiate best. And at the Widener Invitational, senior Brittany Simpson tried her hand at the 400-meter dash, ultimately winning her heat with a time of 1 minute and 4 seconds. Sophomore Olivia Boyer shaved off 5 seconds of her best time in the 1,500 meter to take 12th place with 5 minutes, 0.49 seconds. Freshman Alexandria Morashi debuted in the 800 meter in 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
The men's rowing squad was added again on April 18th as they took on the Schuylkill River during the Care Cup. Coaxed by freshman Grant Maddock, the novice 8 advanced to the final after placing 3rd in Heat 2. The men managed to finish in 5th place for the final, of 4:20 seconds ahead of Marist. Ahead of LaSalle, 2 separate Drexel boats were rewarded 1st and 2nd place. The varsity 8 boat finished 4th while rowing in the petite final, only 3 behind Franklin and Marshall College. The women's team found similar results at the Care Cup. The varsity 4 finished 2nd in Heat 2 to move them to the final, in which they finished 4th, ahead of Atlantic 10 rival Fordham by 6 seconds. Coaxing the varsity 4 was junior Caitlin Rise. The varsity 8 also performed, finishing 6th in Heat 2. In the petite final, they placed 5th.
And the LaSalle golf team played at the Finnegan Invitational in Elverson, Pennsylvania on Sunday, April 19th and Monday, April 20th. The event was hosted by LaSalle and was the last regular season tournament of the Explorer season. The Blue and Gold finished the event in 5th place out of 12 teams to compete at the Invitational. LaSalle's 13 over par finish was their 2nd best score of the season. Graduate student Tony Eifpoon and senior Greg Goodreds posted their best collegiate scores at the tournament. Eifpoon shot a 2-round score of 3 over par and finished tied for 4th place in the 63-player field. Eifpoon's 2nd round even par 70 was his lowest score as an Explorer. Goodreds followed with a 9th place finish and 5 over par in the 2nd round. Goodred's final round, 71, marked his new collegiate low score as well. LaSalle will now look to compete at the Atlantic 10 Championships in Harmony, Florida, that begins on Friday, April 24th.
Women's lacrosse sealed a tight win against Davison on Friday, April 17th. Coming off a loss against Duquesne, they needed to gain another A10 win to stay relevant. With Broadstrand and Ilgenfritz having their season highlight games earlier this season, the matchup marked Alana Defendel's step into the direct spotlight. With scoring and assisting the first 4 goals of the game, Defendel proved to be the catalyst for the offense. As the game winded down in the second half, the two teams fell into a neck-and-neck tie. However, Broadstrand and Fay drained a pair of back-to-back goals to solidify the win with 5 minutes to go. Goalie Gabby Antonelli controlled the final seconds with a comfortable set of saves, and the Explorers found victory with a score of 8-7. Here's what head coach Tanglianetti Brossel had to say about Defendel's performance.
She had such a breakout night. We're so happy for her. We feel like we've been waiting for this, and she's been someone who had a great practice. We made the change tonight to start her, and obviously that paid off. She's had the ability to do that, so it's exciting for her. I think we had an awesome performance. I think we played start to finish with tons of intensity. We were really focused. Our ride was awesome, which is something we always say, take pride in the ride. So there was no doubt in our mind that we were going to win the game. I think we need to continue to have success in the ride. That's a huge asset for us. Continue to limit the opponent to under 20 shots. That was really successful tonight. But we got to up our shot percentage. So that's something we're going to be working on. I think for us right now, we're just trying to take it a game at a time, and that's all we focused on right now. You know, whatever we need to do to win the next game. So now, won this, we're going to be excited about that tonight, and then we're going to focus on UMass.
The Explorers returned to action at McCarthy Stadium to challenge UMass. Here's how their game versus the Minutemen went down. On Sunday, April 19th, women's lacrosse went head-to-head against UMass at McCarthy Stadium. And right away, it seemed this was going to be an ugly match for LaSalle. The Minutewomen launched out of the gate with a shutout of 10 goals. LaSalle went scoreless until a goal by number 11, Caitlin Fay, at the 21-minute mark. This ignited the Explorers' morale, and less than a minute later, Fay scored her second goal of the game with an assist from number 27, Allie Ilgenfritz. However, it was time that dimmed the Explorers' delayed fire, and the first half ended 11-2 UMass. But the Explorers were not going to be tamed by the Minutewomen, as Fay, Allie Burnett, and Rachel Seplow scored at the top of the second half. During this run, things got tense on the field as calls from referees sent players out on yellow cards, and the crowd was polarized as UMass sent 3 more goals into the net to lead by 14. This fueled the Blue and Gold, who in the last 5 minutes of play scored another 4 points. However, this was not enough to bolster the Minutewomen's Titan lead, and the match ended 14-9 UMass. There were some bright moments, though, as Gabby Antonelli hit a season high with 15 saves in goal after 33 attempts. In addition to scoring a goal herself, number 29, Alana Defendel, assisted 4 others, and Caitlin Fay's 5 goals of the match sent her season record to 35. Friday, April 24th, the women take on another Atlantic 10 rival, the St. Joe's Hawks. For SportsLine, I'm Anna Gomez.
On Thursday, April 16th, the softball team took their home field against cross-city rival Drexel in doubleheader action. The Dragons' offense started off red hot in Game 1, as the visitors scored 2 runs in each of the first 2 innings off starting pitcher Mackenzie Peace. That would be all the offense Drexel needed, as LaSalle's fizzled until the bottom of the 7th. It was then that sophomore Lindsey Gaines blasted a solo home run to right field. This was extremely significant to Gaines, as the round tripper was her first career hit at the collegiate level. Despite this milestone, Drexel took Game 1 by a score of 4-1.
And Game 2 saw the Explorers' offense bounce back in a huge way against the Dragons. LaSalle broke the game open in the bottom of the 3rd when they put up a 6th spot against Drexel. The scoring started with a bases-loaded single from Lynette Seidler. Christina Bascara was then hit by a pitch, adding another run. Michelle Haggerty scored on a passed ball, followed by a 2-run single from Alicia Auten to make it 5-0 LaSalle. Finally, a bases-loaded walk from Taylor Roba drove the final run in the offensive outburst. The Blue and Gold tackled on 2 more runs in both the 5th and the 6th inning as they cruised to a 10-2 victory.
The women then traveled out west to take on St. Louis in an A-10 weekend series. In Game 1 of the Saturday doubleheader, the Explorers failed to find consistent offense against the Billikens' pitching staff. After taking the 1-0 lead in the top of the 2nd on a Kristen Travis groundout, the Blue and Gold stranded 2 runners on base at the close of the inning. this came back to bite the Explorers as St. Louis scored 2 runs in the bottom of the inning to grab the lead and start rolling. Despite a 2-out pitch hit single from Michelle Haggerty, LaSalle fell 5-2 to St. Louis in Game 1. Despite a better performance on the mound in Game 2, the offense continued to be inconsistent. 2 St. Louis runs would be all that the home team would need to earn a victory. The Blue and Gold scored in the 3rd thanks to an RBI double from Christina Basquera, resulting in a 2-1 defeat.
And in the series finale, Suzanne Swinicki hit in fellow sophomore Michelle Haggerty to give the Blue and Gold a 1-0 lead to start the game. This wouldn't last long as St. Louis continued their dominance of LaSalle's pitching by scoring 5 unanswered runs in the first 2 innings. The Explorers threatened to answer back in the top of the 3rd as Christina Basquera and Lynette Seidler were on 2nd and 3rd respectively, with nobody out. However, the offense failed to deliver again as the Billikens pitcher, Brianne Lohr, struck out the next 3 batters she faced. Lohr earned her 14th win of the season as St. Louis completed the sweep with a 5-1 victory.
The baseball team opened up a 3-game series against St. Bonaventure on Friday, April 17th at home. The bats were silent for LaSalle, with the team notching only 6 hits and a single run. Pitcher Joey Ravert stood on the mound for 7 innings, allowing only 4 hits and 2 runs before letting Billy Warsick and Adam Cherry take over. However, these 2 runs were enough for the Bonnies to edge the Explorers 2-1 and capture that first game of the series.
And after that loss, LaSalle baseball rebounded in Game 2 thanks to pitching of Luke Riley, who surrendered 1 run over 8 innings. Giancarlo Rivera smacked a grounder to Bonnie's shortstop Cole Peterson, who erred on the throw, allowing two runs. Ryan Welling and Colin McGowan both went 2 for 4 at the plate, and Adam Cherry pitched the last 3 outs to win 4-1 and even the series at 1 apiece. The Explorers put on a show at the plate in Game 3 to win the series. 17 LaSalle base runners crossed home base, while the Bonnies managed only 6. The Blue and Gold had a big 3rd inning with 10 runs. Ryan Welling blasted a grand salami to end any thought of a comeback. Welling also finished with 6 RBIs. Colin McGowan and Joey Ravert contributed big performances, combining for 6 hits and 6 RBIs. Mark Williams took the mound and tossed 6 innings, striking out 5.
The winning streak continued on Tuesday, April 21st against Delaware State. The Explorers scored 13 runs and held the Hornets to only 4. DSU started things off in the first to take a 1-0 lead. The Explorers answered immediately on a 3-run homer off the bat of Joey Ravert. Cameron Johnson also launched a 3-run blast in the 4th inning to increase the lead to 6-1. Travis George added a 3rd home run in the 5th, and LaSalle compiled 3 runs in the 6th and 7th innings. Cameron Johnson and Michael Flax both had 4 hits on the day. Pitcher Jordan Meyer captured the victory through 5 innings on the mound. He struck out 6 and surrendered only 2 hits and 2 walks.
Well, this takes us to our first commercial break, but stick around because Jake Smolinski will be sitting down with softball freshman Valerie Pinero. We'll be right back.
You tired of your boring life? Nothing exciting going on anymore? Sick of only doing what you have to do? Tired of the mundane routine? Well, hold up. We have the cure for you. That's right, LaSalle TV. With sports, news, game shows, and more, you'll be sure to find exactly what you've been needing. LaSalle TV. We know you watch.
Welcome back. SportsLine reporter and interview chair master Jake Smolinski had the opportunity to chat with rookie phenom Valerie Pinero of LaSalle's softball team. Take a look.
Hello and welcome to another edition of On the Sidelines. I'm your host for today, Jake Smolinski, and I'm sitting down here with freshman Valerie Pinero from the softball team. Thank you so much for coming out.
Thank you for having me.
Right. So you've had a really, really incredible season so far as a freshman, coming in recent A10 Rookie of the Week honors. Pretty solid.
Yeah.
So can you talk a little bit about that?
I mean, I got the A10 Rookie of the Week against St. Bonaventure that day because we were rained out on Saturday.
Yeah.
I was 6 for 6 with 3 home runs and 3 singles, so that was pretty incredible. Probably the best I've ever done in my entire life. Otherwise, it's just been hitting the ball solid, just doing what I'm supposed to come here to do, just be an RBI producer, and that's what I'm trying to do here.
Yeah.
So I think I'm doing pretty well so far.
Well, you're doing an incredible job because seriously, the 6 for 6 against St. Bonaventure, pretty solid A10 matchup right there. That's huge. And so, can you talk just a little bit about, I guess, coming now and as a freshman and everything? What has it been like getting on this team and just working with the squad?
It's been nothing short of like amazing, if you ask me, because with this team, everyone's so cohesive and everyone's so nice, and they were so opening and friendly. Like when I first came, and like from there on out, like everyone's just been friends, and I just love how close we all are and how we all have become. And I think it makes us play better. Like if you're all friends and there's no drama in between everything, then you're gonna play better, you're gonna do better. And I feel like that reflects on some of our games, because we've always said like play for each other, like that's what we're out here to do. And when we're doing that, I think we play our best and we win in that sense.
Yeah, because one of the big things, you guys are having a really solid season right now, but it's been swinging back and forth. And I know you've kind of talked a little bit about how it's that one extra inning that does you guys in. What is the perfect recipe though for a win for you guys, I guess, this season?
I think our perfect recipe would be we have to like continue our timely hitting, which has been somewhat of not a struggle, but just like sometimes we haven't been able to come through and do that. But I think mostly we just need to stay relaxed. Like you said, like I said earlier, like we have that one inning sometimes where it's like, if we just took that out, like we'd be fine. But if we just stay relaxed and like stay confident and know how good we actually are and like play up to our own ability, then I think we're gonna go far in the A10 tournament.
But before the A10 tournament comes up, you guys still have another series of just a couple of A10 games.
Yeah, we have like George Mason, St. Joe's, and Dayton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are your guys' plans for going into these ones? These are some closing out the year.
Yeah, they're very important games because we want to be able to make the A10 tournament again this year. I just think our whole like thought process through everything is to always like we need 2 games, and like it would be like just extra if we got all 3. Like that would be great. So our mindset for everything is to always win 2 games, like just win as much as you can and like play your hardest. I mean, if we lose and we play our hardest, like it is what it is. But I mean, I think we can beat all those teams at least 2 times.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think you guys definitely, if you guys get the right momentum going, it'll happen.
Yeah.
And so then now moving, I guess, into the A10 playoffs. What's going to need to work out right now for you guys to be able to make like that jump?
As far as I know right now, we're 5th in the conference, which I believe the first 6 teams go, if I'm not mistaken. So we're in a pretty good spot. If we don't continue to win those games or take a few games from the teams we're supposed to play, the teams we're supposed to play, we have to beat the teams we're supposed to beat. So if we beat them, like we should be good, but if we lose, like that could really hurt us.
Yeah. I do think you guys have an awesome chance though coming up. And so I just want to talk a little bit then. How did you end up at LaSalle?
Basically from playing travel ball in the summer, Coach Ron saw me and like recruited me. And there was a lot of schools I was recruited by, like Fordham, Caldwell, and like Seton Hall. But I visited all of them, and ironically enough, I wanted to go far away, and I'm a half hour away from here. But when I visited here, it was really homey and like comfortable, and like I was very surprised that I liked the fact that it was small, and I just felt very, you know, people talk about getting that feeling when you go to a place and like you really like it, and I was just like, oh, like I really like it here, like I can see myself like walking around this campus, playing on this field, and like contributing to this team, and that's what made me pick here.
That's honest, that's incredible. Everything just worked out like that. And I guess just for the final question then, what are your personal goals to round out the end of the season?
My personal goals would be just to continue trying to contribute to the team, and like I expect everyone on the team to work their hardest and like do their best, and if I expect that from everybody, people expect that from me. So as long as everyone thinks I'm working my hardest and I'm doing my job that like I came here to do, then I'll be achieving all my goals.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show, because wish you guys the most luck as coming up with Dayton and also with St. Joe's and some other teams. So anyway, that is it for On the Sidelines. Thank you once again for coming on.
Thank you.
And yeah, back to you guys.
Welcome back. Joining us here on desk, Sport Talk Philly's very own Tyler Harper. Take it away, Tyler.
Thank you, Madison. Let's get to it. Baseball catcher Ryan Welling was named Co-Big 5 Player of the Week. The redshirt senior tallied 7 RBIs in the 3-game series versus St. Bonaventure, including his grand slam in that final. Welling is currently batting at .358 and has 38 RBI on the season. The golf team's Brandon Real was named A10 Golf Rookie of the Week for his play at the Finnegan Invitational. The freshman set a new career best in the event's first round with a 73 3 over par and followed the next day by shooting a 76 in round 2. Real tied for 20th in the event and is only the 3rd Explorer to be given this honor. The men's basketball team hosted its annual banquet on Tuesday, April 14th to celebrate another season at 20th and Olney. During the festivities, seniors Terrell Wright, Steve Zach, and DJ Peterson were all acknowledged for their time and devotion to the team in the years that they've played here. The three collectively have the most wins by any senior class at LaSalle with 77 and the most A10 wins with 35. Peterson was joined by freshman Johnny Schuler in the sharing of the team's most dedicated student award. Congrats to our men and their hard work on and off the court. Last week, the SportsLine team reported some fantastic news. Women's soccer's Kelsey Haycock has been named a finalist for the Wanamaker Award. The honor is given to those in Philadelphia who excel on the field while representing the city in a positive light. One of the soccer program's most dedicated players, Haycock needs your vote. Be sure to go and visit Go Explorer's website for more details.
It's great to hear Kelsey Haycock is doing really well. I bet Jake is happy about that.
He's going to go home and vote 25 times.
Oh, I bet. I can already
row.
see it.
I guarantee it, folks.
Everybody has to vote for Kelsey Haycock so Jake Smolinski
We're looking at
can
you,
go to
Jake.
sleep happy.
Well, now that we've covered the past, let's look to the future. Isaac Perry brings us this week's marquee matchup. Check it out.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Marquee Matchup. I'm Isaac Perry, and I'm here to tell you which upcoming LaSalle game is going to be highlighting this week's action. This coming week is stacked of LaSalle sports, but the most exciting is coming to us from the legendary 120th edition of the Penn Relays event in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The men's track and field team will be traveling to the University of Penn this Friday and Saturday all day to compete against different teams from all around the world. The Explorers have been running their hearts out competing against the best at every track meet, and this weekend will be no exception. During the course of the season, the Explorers have had a number of impressive performances from the seniors as well as underclassmen. At the Colonial Relays earlier in the season, LaSalle earned 23 points in one day while sitting in 14th place out of 53 teams. Then at the George Mason Invitational, LaSalle had top 10 finishers in the 3,000-meter steeplechase. If the Explorers want to make an impact at the Penn Relays and continue the great success, they're going to need to come to look to these runners on the track. Freshman Justin Guerrero has been making his impact on this team all season, and his performances reflect that. Some of his accomplishments include the first-year sprinter finishing 4th in both the 200-meter and 400-meter dash. In that 200-meter dash, he ran a time of 22.61 to finish 4th of 36 entries and grabbed 5 points for LaSalle. In the 400-meter dash, he clocked 50.06 seconds to finish 4th of 32 entries. His 400-meter time was the 15th fastest in the Atlantic 10, despite the fact that it was his first college try at distance. Not bad for a first-timer. Also at the Colonial Relays, Guerrero advanced to the finals of the 100-meter dash. Thanks to his performance in the preliminary, he ran a time of 10.90 seconds that day to finish 8th and earn him a spot in the finals that Saturday afternoon. If the sprinting delay team are going to win, they are going to need Guerrero to be at his absolute best. He needs to dig deep down inside and run the best race he has ever ran. Another runner who deserves recognition is sophomore Chris Sanders. This guy has been very, very impressive to watch and has only gotten better as time goes on. He is a middle distance runner who has put up impressive times and finishes in his races. At the Stony Brook University spring opener, he ran a college best of 1 minute and 20 seconds in the 600-meter dash, while earning 5 points in the process. To prove his dominance, Sanders was 2.09 seconds ahead of the second-place competitor. Another performance that proves he will be a key player at the Penn Relays is his performance at the Mason Spring Invitational, when he ran 1 minute and 51 seconds in 800 meters to finish in second place out of 70 entries. His time was the second fastest in the A10 this spring, behind his own time last weekend at the Colonial Relays. This guy will bring it at the Penn Relays and help lead the way. There are three very special keys to this track meet. The first is to just go out there and have fun. Running at Penn Relays is such an honor and a privilege. For some of the runners, it may be their first time going down there. I can tell you from personal experience, I ran at the Penn Relays in 2007, and it was one of the greatest experiences I've ever had in my entire life. Running in front of all those fans and competing against schools from all over the world, that's special. The LaSalle Explorers should go out there, have fun, and just embrace the moment. The second is to be prepared and run your race like it's your last. Run with the heart and passion that you're born with. The will to win means nothing if you don't have the will to prepare. Then, when the race is over, the Explorers can look in the mirror individually and say they worked their tail off to be the best of the best. The third key to this track meet is to believe in yourself and never give up. I know that may sound crazy, but it's the truth. The Explorers will have to believe that they can turn a lot of heads, compete, and take home a medal or a plaque. Anything is possible. Believe to achieve. These are the keys that the LaSalle Explorers track and field team should follow to be successful this weekend. Well, that does it for this week's marquee matchup. Don't forget to head out to the Penn Relay starting at 7 o'clock in the morning to watch the LaSalle Explorers run their hearts out at this highly anticipated track meet. For SportsLine, I'm Isaac Perry. Go Explorers.
Well, talking about the Penn Relays, they're coming up. They start today, which is Thursday. So we have the women's DMR running tonight, which for LaSalle, so that's going to be Morgan Zeckley is one of the runners on the DMR. I'm pretty excited for that. What about you guys?
Yeah, no, Morgan Zeckley is Jake Smolinski's Kelsey Haycock for me. I love her.
She's also Jake Smolinski's Kelsey Haycock. Let's be clear. He loves both women.
She's a sweetheart. She's one of the fastest on the team.
She is. She ran a 4:28 mile. 4:28, and that is not even the fastest mile that track has on record. Can you believe that? I bet she's going to be the one to do it, though. I really bet. So after 5 o'clock tonight, anybody can get into the race for free. So you can see the steeplechase and the 5,000 meter run for free tonight. But then tickets are going to be like $50 all weekend. It's a huge event, pretty expensive, but definitely a must-see if you have the chance. Have either of you been to the Penn Relays before?
No, but I've seen him on my TV. But that's it.
I heard Chip Kelly was there last year.
Chip
It's
Kelly
true.
was there
I'll probably
last
be there
year. A couple of our fellow LaSalle TV people actually got to meet him, which
wow.
is pretty cool. So, but all right, so that just about wraps it up for us this week. If you can't make it out to see the marquee matchup, make sure to tune in next week for our coverage. Be sure to keep up with this weekend's other sporting events by following us on Twitter at SportsLineLTV. We post game updates and sneak peeks into the upcoming show.
Also, check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/LaSalleTV. We welcome you to send us your thoughts and suggestions about the show on either website.
For Jake, Tyler, and our entire SportsLine team, I'm Madison Elliott.
And I'm Anna Gomez. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you at the game.